Good morning, traders. It's 8:15 Central Standard Time, 22:15 Southeast Asia time. It's the 12th of February. How time flies when you're having fun. Okay? All right, so let's take a look at what we got before the open here. This is the TopStep economic events, the calendar. So looks like we're clean and green on that front. We have definitely got a risk-off attitude here for the indices this morning. Our settlement is at 13,729 on the ES. Open interest is up a couple thousand, if my memory serves. I got to remember to start keeping a record of this. I wish they had a cumulative or a, increase, decrease column, but I haven't figured it out yet on Tradovate. So we're definitely on a risk-off across the board here. We're down 37 points and a 0.27% change. Financials should be green, I would think. Oh, that's what I get for thinking. And metals. What's gold and the boys up to there? So we will have a look at the daily. Work our way down here. Well, that's still, we had that all-time high where we had the big swing day before yesterday. And we're still sitting at the 76 quarter. Yesterday we couldn't get there. So far today we haven't gotten there. This is a Friday. It's Kong Fa Cha. No, wait, Kong Fa. I forgot how to say it. Kong Fa Chai. Happy Chinese New Year in Mandarin, I think that is. Kong Fa Chai. Yeah, Kong Fa Chai. Geez, I know that as well as I'm sitting here, and all of a sudden I drew a blank. Anyway, it's the first day of Chinese New Year. So if you're in celebrating that, Happy New Year. And if you're not, never mind. Here we are for the Globex training session. I hate it when it does that. I'm not sure why it takes so long to expand to the proper scale, but it's kind of irritating. Anyway, this was yesterday's high, regular trading session high, low, value area low, POC, VWAP, value area high, close. So we are, I would say, dead on neutral. That looks like about 50, we're just trading back and forth across that close. Right now, we're 0.27% below the close or the open, however you want to look at it, and a little bit below the VWAP. But essentially, we're sock up in the middle here. We're just trading back and forth over the range. Right now, we're trading within yesterday's value and range. So this could be the chopperama today. Definitely would expect an open auction. I keep thinking they're going to try to go higher. Look at it knocking on that 13,800 door, but no such luck. So you can see a little bit easier to view the market profile here. You can see where the profile was yesterday, day before, regular trading. Yesterday's regular trading. So we're still within range. We were down in value yesterday, but we held above that, so it's overlapping and higher. See if I can not blow this. Okay, here we go. You can see how we're just, man, we've been trading basically just slightly overlapping and higher and right inside of each other's range for the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days. So I would suppose we're going to get that high right here, but don't know. Trade what you see, not what you think, and that's what we'll do, or try to do. And in the Globex, I try to always look at the 5-minute as well as the range. Yesterday we had one trade for 200 and change, I think 210 or something like that. Really light book over here. Light book and very little trading since I had this open. Now this obviously doesn't go back and look at historical stuff throughout the, it starts charting from where we've opened as far as the book is concerned, and the snapshots, the value area high and low, of course, and the POC and all that stuff are calculated accurately. This should be right, 3707. Yes, right on the money. Okay, now what's going to happen is when we have the open, these will all go reset, and so will the VWAP, because VWAP is not based on time. It's calculated from whatever opening period you have. And in my case, on the Jigsaw Dome, I have it reset at each session open. That's why it's exactly the same as this one, because this one is set from here. Now, the volume profile in this charting here is 24 hours, so it started at the open this morning, well, or last night if you're in Central Time, and it will continue through Globex and on through the regular trading hours until the close this evening Central or my morning. That's why the VWAP can get off a little bit on the, the Jigsaw and look a little funny there. So I'm meeting free tonight until midnight. I have a meeting at midnight my time. It's which will be just fine. That'll be able to watch the open and have the stream here and for an hour or so, and then jump on that meeting and then jump on the mattress and get a little shut-eye. And it seems like everything's going okay with the streaming and with the YouTube after that episode a couple of days ago where they thought we were trying to be Pinky in the Brain and take over the world, I guess, or whatever they thought. I don't know. Yeah, this looks like the possibility for just a real open auction, which is essentially just a trading range up and down, as opposed to a trending environment or a opening drive. Those are terms from market profile language. If you want to read some good books, Markets in Profile by Jim Dalton. Pete Stottlemyre is the guy who developed the market profile for the CME. He was an employee there, and Jim Dalton was upstairs running, I think, the options division of CME at that time. And Stottlemyre brought, this is a story from Jim Dalton. Stottlemyre brought this spreadsheets and stuff in that he'd been working on with graph paper about how he was thinking of this idea for market profile. And Dalton claims he realized right on the spot that that was a great thing to do, and he gave him $10,000 check to help him get his first bit of work done. Or maybe Stottlemyre did write a book. Maybe that's what the money was for. I don't remember now. It's been several years since I heard that from Jim Dalton, but an interesting story, and it's been going ever since. That was back in the 80s, I believe. And it's been pretty established charting technique since then, sort of like market profile. It's kind of never been real mainstream as much. Well, market profile is point figure, I'm sorry, has never been quite as mainstream as market profile, but it's compared to bar charts or Rinkos or candlesticks, it's not as widely adopted. So we're 4 minutes to open. Good luck. Be centered, be focused. Remember, your object is to manage your risk and your trade and your money and be able to trade tomorrow. That's the goal. If you do that every day, you will be a consistently profitable trader. You could have a 99, sigma, I forget what they call it anyway, sigma 9 or whatever, edge, 99.999% edge. But if you blow it up when it's that 0.1% and you blow up your account, guess what? Didn't do you any good. So the idea is to find a reasonable edge if you can, and trade with the proper discipline and risk management so that you can have as many opportunities to trade as you can given your account size. That's why it's so important to be sure you pick the right product and strategy and manage your risk. 2 minutes. Now that I put that big soliloquy out there, I'll probably get stopped out for show me who's boss. And remember, another thing that's real important to remember for your mental capital or your emotional capital, this is Friday. Don't get yourself in a big losing position so that you have to stew about it, think about it all weekend. That's terrible for your emotional capital. Much easier to rebuild financial capital than emotional capital. And also you have to always recognize that the odds of your very next trade are 50-50. That's the probability. Absolutely. The market only goes up or down. And the very next trade, the probability of that is 50-50. Absolutely. Some people seem to have a hard time understanding, getting their head around that. I'm not sure why, but they do. So we should be opening here in a jiffy. Good luck. Kong Shi Fa Chai. Happy Chinese New Year, the year of the bull, or the ox. I think it's called bull. Maybe it's called the ox. I don't know. Looks like a bull to me. And we're open. See how Jigsaw instantly reset, prints the open, and how the market or the volume profile fills out with VWAP up here now. VWAP and POC are sitting on top of each other. There they moved. Oof, tight range, huh? Look at that tight one there. Oof. Let's see, a little exploration down. Remember, there's no gap here. We're in range. Having said that, yeah, pretty sure that's correct. We're in range and we're in value from yesterday's regular trading session. So therefore, I don't consider that we have a gap. A gap to me would be above. I guess you could say there was a gap to the bottom side too, but how often do you ever see the damn thing start right on top of the close, you know? I'm pretty sure that within range and in value is not considered gap rules. Push into the downside here. You can see the volume profile. Now the volume profile has switched here for the Globex. So I will turn off the daily profile chart, which would be a combination of the two. Makes the regular trading hours profile a little more identifiable for me. I would say we're probably going to push down to this test here and the yesterday's point of control, but never know. And especially when the ES is pushing up. There we go. There's that point of control from yesterday. So we tested through settlement. No, not yet. Sorry. Looking at the wrong numbers there. Settlement 7-29. Right up there. But we're just a eyelash away from the overnight stat being fulfilled. Look at that. Boy, they are right down there to just a whisker away from that overnight low. Wow. Back to the POC, and now which way are they going to go? My guess is down. Sellers are definitely having fun. Buyers are not digging it. Volume is still off. This is relative volume, about 20,000 low for this period of time regularly. POC just jumped down. Volume profile just shuffled up, and so did the POC. Might be a little easier for you to see. I'm sorry, I was sitting here being all selfish, just focusing on what it was doing and wasn't thinking about the recording, which it looks to be still recording without any problems, so that's good. I bring this mic volume down a little bit here. I see some yellow stuff getting up there. Check how that sounds later on tonight. Tight range, 12 points. Definitely a downtrend so far. Lower highs, lower lows, and diverging from the ES, which is a little bit strange, but sellers are hitting this pretty hard. We're down to the approaching the third standard deviation from VWAP. That's a pretty significant move. Traded across value here and heading lower on the profile. So is it sell the pullback? Is it a sell the pullback day? I don't know. Always makes me nervous so early in, and it's said many times before that I don't like working from the middle out, and unfortunately that's right where we went to the POC, and that's sock up in the middle. So you would expect that it's going to trade off of this POC up to at least this high volume node here, and likely to the single standard deviation, which is also the value area high. But. You see that this is our VWAP for this for the regular trading hours so far. 669, right about there, as opposed to up here, which is the VWAP from the overnight session. I think I could. It appears that you can change that, but it doesn't seem to want to listen to me. So I don't know. Now it's kind of fallen in league with the ES here, right to that value area high. Buyers are climbing back up a little bit. Still pretty skinny volume down here for the Globex. A little bit of traffic to get through here. See, even if you look at it on a bigger scale, there's kind of lower highs going on there and kind of lower lows. Is that what they're going to do? I don't know. I was trying to look back here to see if this was stalling out at some particular reference. It's really not so much. Looks to me like it's trying to eke its way back up to the VWAP there. Those slow grinds are tough. We've got some volume here, but not much till we get up here again, which would be pretty close to that VWAP. But are they anxious to get through that thin spot once they're already out of value? That's the question. The auction theory is that they will explore higher and then explore lower to find an area where there's common ground and common trading. Not that it's always not common. I mean, there's always a buyer and a seller. This is a zero-sum game in futures. For every sale, there's a buy. It's just how aggressive are they coming across here? Are the sellers coming across and hitting the bid, or are the buyers lifting the offer? That's where the cumulative delta is figured from, and that's the aggression. A lot of people use the misnomer more buyers than sellers, or it's that's completely bogus. There are never more. It's a zero-sum game, and that's one of the reasons I like it. The futures market, that is, I'm talking about, as opposed to like GameStop or one of those deals where there's any stock where there's a float, and there can be more people buying a stock than selling it. It's just you're buying the float. There doesn't have to be someone on the other side of your trade. Got some consolidation going on here now, whether they're going to go up with it some more or whether they've spun out. Couldn't get back to the open yet. But they did grind it up to the VWAP. I should start listening to myself. There ought to be some shorts or some stops parked up around there. There we go. What are we doing over here in comparison to yesterday? We're back into value. So if we get accepted here, we should trade across this value, which puts us up here at, just magically puts us up here at settlement. See that? Value area high is right there from yesterday, if my eyes are not deceiving me, and that's I'm talking about the market profile value area high, not the volume profile. Obviously, that's up here. Got a big volume shelf here. If we get over that, this thing's going to go boink to the upside, I would say. But they may need to pull it back to reload there a little bit. Down to say value area high, perhaps. Oh, it's moving up a little too. See how they keep trading that up. 585 is a point of control. So we're away from that shift at the moment. Got to get several hundred more contracts trading in here. I'm thinking that, yeah, there was that stop run. Darn it. I was just going to say, I think I'm going to participate and throw an order on there. And the second I opened my big fat mouth, it popped. I should trade first. What's the old saying from the piloting days is engage brain before starting mouth. That's what I should have done there. Damn it. That was my 10-point trade right there without any problem whatsoever. It clears the bell. Read very well. And that took us right up to the volume area, point of control from yesterday. One tick away from that. Now, when we cross that, one more tick here, this extended POC will stop. Same thing down here. Once it's touched, then it will be, that's where it will end. Once we trade down through here, this one will end. See, this one held from yesterday, day before yesterday, actually. I'm thinking that this is probably a pullback to engage in here. Scoot on up there now, fellas. A little bit more. Oh, shucks. That's no good. Have a little more horsepower there, a little more oomph, a little more buyer enthusiasm. I'm thinking that they're not going to have any enthusiasm here, though. Looks of it, the ES is moving. Spending too much time down there to suit me. Yeah, it's spending too much time. Yeah, we'll see. Just about up there to where we had that the break-even jump, and it just couldn't quite get there yet. That consolidation's starting to bother me though, because it's gonna bite me here pretty quick. Disappointing. Let's go now. Yeah, that's just not good. We're just running out of a little steam here on the buyer side of life. They can take a bounce off that VWAP. That would be nice. ES is still pushing to the upside, but the NASDAQ is just not going to follow suit, that doesn't look like. I don't like these trades that take so long. That's seems in my mind, could be just my state of mind, but it seems like the longer you fuss around with these damn things, the more often or not you get burned. Case in point. Case in point here. Looking like a stop out coming my way. Sure would like to see that get up there now. Just don't have to go very far. They were just about up there to my break-even jump and just didn't quite get the job done. Well, that was pretty nice timing there now. There we are. So that was not our target. That was our break-even move. That's why it's 110 instead of 200. But better than a sharp stick in the nose, isn't it? Not a smart entry. Should have been closer to, that's not asymmetrical, that entry. That was, down in here was the asymmetrical entry. When you get below, down to the value area high, you know you're wrong. The closer you get to a point where you know you're wrong, that gives you more upside. And now we're probably going to just get ripping and snorting up through there and go up all the way to the top. But I'm not going to try to trade that breakout. And the real trade was when I pointed out that we would have a stop there. But I'll take that $110. Here's the part I don't like. Couple minutes. Yeah, 4 minutes. That's ridiculous. Yesterday was 200. If I'm not mistaken, it was $200. Well, it was a full 10 points in 7 seconds. When it gets over that time frame, that's you got to start looking. I don't think moving the stops around or fiddling with your bracket or your trade management is a good idea, but I do think that you have to use a little bit of context and discretion. Like, for example, if same thing with entries, if it's you think normally that you would take a trade when it comes back down to like the VWAP, for example. So you're going to take a bounce. If it just kind of comes down there real slow and maybe goes up a little bit, then real slow back down, that context tells me that it's not going to work out. That lowers the probability in my mind of that particular setup working. The same thing with when you get in a trade and they start this big long consolidation dance. The longer you're in that trade, seems to me like the more you're putting yourself at risk to the market, and the probabilities, I think, are going down. So that worked out okay. Got pretty close within a tick or two, I think, but that just could have just as easily done what it's done here right now. So that's kind of my theory there. The shorter time I can be exposed to the market, I believe that's also improving my position and or by minimizing my risk. So we got about 7 minutes to the bracket. So is everything okay? The stream looks like it's streaming. Everything seems to be all right. That's a good thing. Yeah. So it's not doing much different than I basically had thought. We are just slamming around inside of value from the regular trading hours of yesterday. We did put in the stat for the overnight. The low was taken out, and they tested that lower value area from the regular trading hours. And they were aiming for this one, for the upper. May still go after it. But this is essentially an open auction from the beginning of our trading session here. They did manage to pull the POC up. I hadn't noticed that till now. POC I was looking for it down here, and it's been pulled up to VWAP. I was thinking, well, they're approaching the POC, and oops, who took the POC? The volume POC. That's the difference. This consolidation here suggests that it's going to coil and move, but, we're still sock up in the middle of that yesterday's regular trading session. So I want to look at this thing here. Yeah, that's just stacking inside of there. Well, you see how you can see how these POCs extend until they're hit. When this trail came through here, then it stops. That's how it works for both the regular trading or the market profile, and the volume profile for each day. I wish I could make this volume profile a POC. I mean, the market profile POC brighter or more distinguishable. That red there just sucks. I find that really hard to see. Maybe it's just me or my monitor. Color scheme or something. I don't know. And that this is an untouched POC for a long time now. That's regular trading hours. Same with the volume profile. Far back's that goes back to here. See, since we moved out of this range box here, we haven't revisited these POCs for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days. So it's last week, but we're still just slapping back and forth over the inside the range here and inside the value and range from here and inside the value and range from here. And boy, they're winding it up here. Wind it up, baby. There we go. It's a tempting trade, that breakout. But that's why it's not, why I don't do it right there. I see guys on YouTube trading they do some things that I find I just don't mesh with my risk and trade management. Doubling down, and they'll be long from here, and they'll have a stop down here if they have a stop at all, and then when it pulls back downhill here, they'll add again, and sometimes it works out, but then sometimes you see they lost $2,600, or they blew up their account, or going to start the TopStep combine over again, and stuff like that. I don't understand that exactly. I think it's a better strategy to go less. What's the old golf analogy? Drive for show and putt for dough, something like that. Kind of the same thing here. I think if you are conservative and manage your risk, you'll have over the long haul, you'll be more successful. Now, obviously, when you've got your account size built up, instead of trading one lot, you're trading 5. Well, then that makes the number look pretty big. And, by the factor of scale, you can increase your account. You can also decrease your account. You just have to remember with trading and sizing up and sizing down is that you have a 50-50 chance of losing as much as you think you're going to win. So that's I think the thing that one has to keep remembering. A lot of these folks, I'm not sure what they're really up to. I do think a lot of people that are on the YouTube and wherever else, they have their other income stream is the fact that they are basically making money off the YouTube, and that's probably could in some cases be much more money than they're making trading. And I suppose they may be getting like an introducing broker fee or a partner partner fee or something like that from some of these funding companies like TopStep or Lilu or whoever it is. I don't participate in any of that. I do recommend TopStep, but because I think it's the better of those funding companies that I've come across so far. And that's why I recommend it, not because I get a kickback if somebody signs up for the combine. So to each their own, but I'm going to try to hold my course here and see if I can't. I think it'll suit me better, I believe. Suit my temperament more. Some of these people on YouTube and these gamer guys, oh, Jesus, God, they make a lot of money. Whew. Just on sponsorship and ads, and they don't do a damn thing, play a video game. I mean, that's nothing. It's not that it's nothing, but it is accomplishing nothing, contributing nothing. And they get huge money from people watching them do that. Quite astounding, actually, to me. Phenomenon I would have never thought would work. Guess that's why they're making that kind of money and I'm not. After all this chop, this trade has still not gotten to, what was our entry there? 699, so let's call that 70. Still has not gotten to the 10-point target. So, praise God and pass the ammunition for that bracket set up the way it is to pull that out of the fire. And just by a whisker got the top one. So, and would have certainly been stopped out on these most of this stuff. Yeah, it would have been stopped out on all of these. Got about a 25-point range value area there. Pretty narrow. VIX was at about 27 for the market opened last time I checked. Definitely a chop zone. And we've turned over our bracket. I didn't point that out. We rolled our bracket over and we have a poor high and still have not been able to take that that value area POC or VPOC out. That's pretty funny. Over here. Now, have we taken out that triple? Yeah, we did. We took out that right here, that low right there, that double low, and ran it down. Wasn't that it? Not today. When we had that, we were 3 wide. I couldn't believe it. This is pretty pathetic too. There's no excess here. Weak, poor low there. We have excess everywhere else. Except today now we have a poor high there and have not taken out that volume profile by 1 tick twice for that VPOC. That's pretty amazing. Whether that means anything or not, it's a whole nother story, but you kind of have to think that it must mean something. It's sort of hard for me to believe that it would be a coincidence like that. Fooled by Randomness. It's an interesting book. Guy's name I can't pronounce, but he does written some pretty interesting stuff. So are we going to take out this high and take out that volume area profile? They just keep fussing around up here, don't they? I am not even remotely interested in getting involved in that mess. It's like poking your head in a branch chopper, as far as I'm concerned. I think it's so funny. They just can't get past. They just can't get there. 1 tick, man. 1 tick. I think they're trying. They'd like to. By golly. Buyers are coming in. They're looking pretty good there. Don't have any real size sitting out over here. Well, they may go now. They may take a run at the high. Now keep your eye over here, and that'll shut off the second that ticks up there. assuming it's going to. There's a theory that you can pretty much figure who you're trading against or who's involved in the market by the. There we. Oh, come on, man. That's funny. That the intraday traders are those who pay attention to all these visual references like the VWAP and the value area high, value area low, and half back, and all these things. They're the people who pay attention to that stuff because the more institutional, the deeper pockets don't really know that those things are even around, like the moving averages and stuff like that. They've got a lot bigger fish to fry. And I kind of like it when it's more of the retail crowd and the weekends or whatever you call it, the intraday people, because that that lets me figure that they're going to be paying attention to those references, and so I can use those things to my advantage. It's like, pick and stop, potential stop run, because those kind of guys are the people that throw all their stops above this last swing high or whatever else, and some visual reference or some point like that, and then you can oftentimes use that to your own benefit. Got to think this thing is going to get across there here pretty quick. Man, it is sure struggling though, isn't it? Struggling. Another thing about that, while we're just sitting here doing nothing, the range charts, they don't print a new bar until the range has been set, 20 tick range. So you can sort of get a feeling for the tempo of the market by the way the bars are being put out there. Whereas time-based charts, they're printed based on time. And when that time ticks over, when the bar counter drops down, like over here, when that counter drops down, that's when there's going to be a new bar. Whether there's, been any real volume traded there or not. Man, I can't believe they could not get through that. That is just amazing. And they still haven't been able to take out this speed buck or that new high. Wow. Got to believe it'll happen for too long, but amazing how many times they've hit it. 23:17 my time. About 45 minutes here. I close the stream down and get ready for that meeting I have at 12 o'clock Saturday morning. It's what happens when I have colleagues in Houston and New Orleans that want to have a meeting. And it pulls right back, spanking all those longs, taking those stops down to value area low, and then now they're going to take it back up and then bounce it real fast. A lot of folks who were trying to play that breakout just got spanked. All the stops that have been put down here. Below all these lows. But I am not confident enough that they're not just going to trade it back and forth within that value area and that range that I would say short the pullback. So I am going to sit here until something looks to me like it's changes in the market. right to half back. Huh, huh, huh. And you can see what the profile between this is the daily profile. So this is between the overnight and the regular trading hours where we are so far. And that's about a perfect bell-shaped distribution. So quite possibly that's what we're going to get. I turn that back on over here, you'll see what I mean on the bigger level. See that? This is the daytime or regular trading hours, and this is the composite of both. So pretty darned, pretty well balanced profile. The kurtosis is just centered right on the standard deviation. Pretty classical. And boy, the POC is just parked out on that day time frame VWAP and the open. You can see the POC and the open. Now the daytime frame, the regular trading hours VWAP is down here, but this is including the Globex. So they look pretty happy about life right there in the middle, don't they? I think that I may wind the stream off a little sooner than I had planned, about 45 before the hour, 15 before the hour. I may shut it off at the bottom of the hour here where I get my ducks in a row and my screens organized for the meeting tonight. Do a few push-ups, get the blood flowing. Get the brain braining. Gonna go up here and flirt with those highs some more. One of these times it's gonna pop. One of these times it's going to pop. 6 minutes to the bottom of the hour in the bracket change. C period. Oh, yeah. If you want to put on your rear view binoculars, you could say, well, trading the value area has been pretty much successful. If you want to call this an entry, and then sit through all of this nonsense, and then you got up here. Okay, then you could have made it down to VWAP here with a scalp or so, and now we come through here and you've traded down and now you've traded back across. So in theory, with hindsight, rear view binoculars, it's, you know, you could make that comment, but when you're watching the trading the right edge, it doesn't look so easy. I did give a thought to this trade. I missed this one completely. It just took off, and I expected to bounce here. I certainly wouldn't have entered, put a resting order there, and really glad I didn't. But this would have been a typical entry, the bounce off the value area low, and it would have been a good trade without any heat. It's just when it's a chop zone like this, and when there's, look at this shelf. Just amazing. These are quite strange profiles, Look at that. It's like somebody just cut a line across there, and we're all of those brackets, G, H, J, K, L, M. Nobody could go past that by one blink, one tick. That's amazing. That's just amazing. And they only have two ticks of access on the G period, so not making any big headway. And right here, we got the similar situation setting up on the upside. So it's a Friday, and it doesn't look like anybody has a has an axe to grind or a mission to accomplish. They're just content to trade it out across, back and forth across the zone. And if you want to be aggressive, and this would be a good asymmetrical trade location down in here, because if it goes much more than a tick or two past this value area low, you're wrong. Same way up here. If you enter up in here someplace, it comes back across this, well, you're wrong, and you're only talking about 4 or 5 ticks. So let's say you had a resting order down here, and you're going to go long. Well, you can see where your stop would have been down there at 13,674, so you wouldn't have taken any heat. You could have actually even brought that stop up to this standard deviation line, for example, and then you've got a pretty high risk win risk reward, or I can't talk. Say I'm tired. Risk reward ratio is good. Again, with the value area low. And we just had the racket change. We're in C period now for a minute. There we go. Might actually fall down now if the ES could get through there, but the ES has got a lot of heavy traffic right here. It's area low and VWAP and on and on and on. We got quite a bunch of traffic right here ourselves. And that low POC's down here. Going to go there again, it looks like. I'm guessing they're going to get down here. But I'm not guessing good enough to put a trade on. I'm not going to participate in it. I have to be off the air here in another few minutes. Get my head together for a meeting. I've got one trade in positive. Not good trade location, but it did work out. And that's right here. Quite lucky, actually. Quite lucky. Poor entry location, but the bracket worked just its wonders there. So that's good. And I'm not going to get myself into position and then be trying to manage a trade. And this is me. I'm going to be conducting this meeting, so presenting this meeting. So it's not like I can just shut up and listen and be focused on trading. I'd say they're headed for here. Second standard deviation, this value spike, volume spike, right at the POC. Yep. And the ES is making the move that makes the difference over here. So, darn it. Darn it. I'd liked another trader. So there, a couple $100 is better, but $100 I will take. So trade safe. Remember, risk management is the key. Your one goal as a trader is to be able to trade tomorrow. All your thinking and planning is useless if you don't exercise discipline and control and risk management and preserve your trading capital so that you can trade tomorrow. Pretty simple. Have a great weekend. Kong Chi Fa Chai if you celebrate Chinese New Year. And I am going to pull the stream down. Wish you all a happy New Year and a great weekend. Stay safe. Wash your hands. Get some exercise. Don't think about trading all the time. Look at that go now. I have to shut my mouth here. No, I'm not going to take a trade. That would be the last thing I want to do. The second I click the trade, it would then suddenly stop moving and I'll have to sit and manage the thing. So I'm going to take and I do not trade off stream. So when I end the stream, there will be no trades taken. That's been a couple of times I've regretted that commitment, but I am going to stick with it. For my accountability to the stream and for the fact that the stream is my virtual visual trading log. So what the hell good would it do me to take trades and not log them or not be on stream? And that's why I will not. So have a great weekend, and I'm out.